Hello, fellow internet degenerates. It's me, Drew Bop, and welcome back to Swooning Over Stands. When we last left off, Ford and Dipper were discussing DDMD, Dungeons, Dungeons, and More Dungeons, and I'm about to ask if I could join their game. I'm excited. This is actually really exciting because I've been asked to join a D&D group in my day-to-day, and so I've been very D&D on the brain. So hopefully that knowledge, that headspace will take me far on my romantic journey with Ford. So fingers crossed for me. Let's get into it. Nothing is happening. I'm already hi. Goofy. This game really makes me feel some type of way. I'm going to ask to join their game. Great. Oh, shoot. Did you look at the plans earlier? Those were for Dungeon Master's eyes only. If only I'd known you were gonna join us. Don't worry, I didn't look. What a relief. No, wait. What if you're lying to get an edge in the game? Is this legal? Grumble Ford. What? I didn't hear. I was just categorizing these DDMD books. How many volumes do they have these days? Dipper and Ford put the final pieces in their place. The floor is encircled in a mix of propped up corkboards, books, maps, notes, and loose leaf paper. Ford unfolds a game board in the center of the madness. Brilliant! We're all ready. Don't look so nervous, Bob. You'll have me here to walk you through it. Thank you so much. Thank you. That makes me feel so much better. Oh my god, I have to be normal. I have to be normal. We're not even 2 minutes into this episode. You have to be normal. Ford sits down next to the game board. He pats the piece of carpet next to him, inviting you to sit. And you do. Be chill, be chill, be cool, be chill, be normal, be cool, be chill. Dipper sits across from you on the other side of the game board and unfolds an illustrated piece of cardboard, propping it up in front of him. He notices your questioning gaze on it and looks back at you. Oh yeah, this is the Dungeon Master's screen. It's just there to protect my secrets. It hides essential die rolls and plot points from prying player eyes. Runkle Ford's tried to look ahead once or twice and spoiled a narrative twist. And you were the only player! I'm just making sure my dungeon mastering apprentice stays on his toes. You can never be too vigilant. Dipper gathers up his dice in a pile next to the DM screen, ready to roll when needed. Now, I mentioned an extra dice set, didn't I? Dice are an important, though by no means essential, component of gameplay. No adventurer should leave the house without a set. I keep mine in this souvenir velvet dice bag from Dementia local game store. Yes. Good catch, King. Ford retrieves a dark drawstring bag from his coat and empties it onto the floor, where dice of all different shapes and sizes come tumbling out. I just start eating them. And now for yours. Ford pulls another matching drawstring bag from the depths of his coat. They were having a buy one, get one discount. Go ahead, take a look. These will be yours for the session. You pour these dice onto the carpet as well, metallic gold with the numbers embossed in black. Fancy. While I didn't have enough left to make them from solid gold, I was able to electroplate a set for fun. Great, Uncle Ford, you electroplated those dice? They're so nice. That didn't mean to rhyme. Maybe you should be the one with the rapping career, not Jay Gnomesy. Ford and Dipper laugh. Yes! Kicking it. Kicking it? I wanted to say killing it and kicking ass, and I just said kicking it. Suave. Very suave. Yeah, maybe not. But anyway, let me reintroduce our characters. Dipper clears his throat, settling into the Dungeon Master persona. When we last left our heroes, Miv the Meddling trapped the great elven wizard Vernon and the halfling fighter Tyros in a dungeon filled to the brim with puzzles, riddles, and brain teasers. To reach Miv and end this journey once and for all, they'll have to brave the dungeon's mysteries and escape with their lives intact. Dipper sets 2 figurines side by side on the game board. One is an imposing figure in flowing robes, and the other is much shorter in comparison, but posed with a will to prove himself. You suppose the former is Vernon and the latter is Tyros. But what would our 2 heroes find in the first room of the dungeon but a potential ally, just as trapped as they are, who will join them in their quest for freedom? That's me. Everyone, that's me. That's my character. Dipper places 3 figurines on the carpet, just off the side of the game board. And you get to choose your character now, Bob. These are starters with pre-made templates, so they're good for short notice editions like this. Ooh. I don't want to be a bard because I feel like Ford would hate that. See, I said this, I think it was last episode. Every choice I want to make, I feel like I have to not make. I have to cater to Ford. A dwarf, fighter, an orc rogue, or a human bard. I'm not gonna be a bard. That's out of the question. Do I want to be a fighter or a rogue? Can I be honest, chat? I don't really know what a rogue does. I'm gonna be a rogue. I think that's cool. An orc rogue. Rogues can move around with stealth and know how to pick both pockets and locks. Be an orc rogue? Yeah. Dipper moves your figurine onto the board beside Vernon and Tyros. Alright, what's their name going to be? Alex, short for Alexandrios. You hear Ford trying Alexandrios under his breath a few times. I'll just call them Alex. Here's your character sheet. It's got all the info on it. Are they gonna make me play real D&D? This is gonna be disastrous. I have attributes and inventory. I also can't see my mouse, which is fine. Our heroes encounter Alexandrios, Alex for short, in the first room of the dungeon. Alex, what's your deal with our main villain, Miv the Meddling? Miv murdered my family and now I seek revenge. Miv promised me eternal glory but left a dagger in my back instead. I just woke up here with a headache. Ford, help me. Do I dare? Do I? DD&D is almost entirely imagination and creativity. Go ahead, just make something up. It's half the fun. Okay. Miv promised me eternal glory but left a dagger in my back instead. Alex explains how she struck Miv's ire, and in turn Tyros shares that Miv once bested him in a duel. An embarrassment because Miv is a sorcerer, and sorcerers aren't known for their physical combat skills. In Tyros' defense, he was still young at the time. But none of this matters, because to finally face down Miv, they must escape. Proceed with caution, homies. Oh my god, the stained... I would like to thank the game devs, because this shit fucking rules. Behind you is a plain door. On the far wall of the room is a set of red doors, and to the left and right are old stained glass windows with weirdly familiar motifs on them. We have Mabel's star, we have Stan's fez, we have Ford's book, and we have Dipper's hat. Very cool, very cool. Having woken up here with no recollection of getting here at all, you have no way of knowing which door you came in, should go out of, or even what direction you should head in at all. And now you guys decide what you want to do. You might want to look around first. And by that, of course, we mean rolling a die to see if we can notice anything. The outcome of nearly every substantial choice we make is tied to a roll of the dice. I'll let you choose what to do here, Bob. Then I'll take a look around, go through the red doors, smash a window. I'm gonna look around. Ford shows you what to roll for the investigation check, and Dipper flips through his notebook, ready to tell you what you see. Huh, nice roll. Tacked to one of the walls of the room is a note that reads, "Proceed with caution, homies." Tyros pockets the note, and in the distance you hear the faint sound of rushing water. What do you do next? What's the state of the door behind us? It's locked. Bop, here's your chance to do something really cool. You're the only one of us who can pick locks. Here, use the D38 to roll a sleight of hand check to see if you can pick that lock. You roll your D38 for the check. It's a 31. Yes. Kicking ass. Kicking ass. And since you're a rogue with deft hands, you get a +2 on that roll. 33. Nice one. You pick the lock and the door swings open. Brilliant. Let's go this way. And anything you say, baby girl. Anything you say. As the last of you step through the doorway, it melts, seeping into the wall as if it were never there. Guess we're not going back that way. The chandelier overhead ignites, casting the room in a warm orange glow and revealing an impressive door on the far wall. In front of it is a large cloth-covered lump. Take a look around. You roll for investigation just like earlier. You approach it to inspect it. As your footsteps grow nearer, the lump shifts, rising to reveal that it is in fact a goblin. The goblin stands to attention and tries to pretend it was never asleep. Travelers, I notice thee and demand you answer these riddles 3. Answer the riddles, pick the goblin's pocket, attack the goblin. I want to pick his pocket. I can do that, right? Yeah? As Ford pulls out a sheet of paper to do the pickpocketing a goblin in light leather armor while in a damp stone dungeon room calculation for you, you hear Dipper murmuring something that sounds like, didn't even think about pickpocketing, to himself under his breath. Well, the math says you should roll a D8, a D4, and a D6. Anything below a 13 should be successful. Dipper, are you ready? Yeah. Oh, I feel like I'm embarrassing him. I keep feeling like I'm blowing this. Your roll succeeds and Dipper grimaces. You reach into the goblin's pocket and open your hands to see what you've stolen, to see that you've stolen a piece of paper. In real life, Dipper hands you a folded piece of paper. Not having noticed you doing that, the goblin grows impatient. Travelers, answer these riddles 3. The goblin reaches into his pocket, rifling for something and not finding it. Though he looks a little nervous, he proceeds from memory. What has 88 keys but can't open a single door? Well, I'm assuming the piece of paper has the answers, yes? Dipper watches you open the paper with an expression of slight dismay on his face. Kid, I'm so sorry. It reads, what has 88 keys but can't open a single door? A piano. What kind of key can't open doors? A monkey. What is the first thing you did on your adventure? Look around. Okay. A piano, a monkey, look around. I'm gonna answer the riddle. I've heard this one before. It's a piano, right? Next. What kind of keys cannot open doors? I'm just gonna go for all of them. A monkey. I'm locked and loaded, bitch. And finally, what is the first thing you did on your adventure? Look around. The door is open now to you. Fabulous, homies. The goblin steps aside to let you go through the doorway. And with that, you've cleared my goblin puzzle. Well, a fourth of them anyway. It could have gone so many other ways. Dipper then beams, and you follow his line of sight to realize it's because Ford just gave Dipper an encouraging smile of his own. Yay! Okay, I'm not blowing it. As soon as you enter this next room, the wall melds over the doorway, sealing you in. Glancing around, the far wall of the room seems to be of a different material and color than the rest, though it could just be the lighting. To the left, you see rows of keys affixed to the wall. Ooh. Ooh. Inspect the keys, inspect the far wall. What do I want to do? Oh, I actually get inventory and... That's really funny. Okay. What do I want? I kind of want to inspect the wall. If there's a bunch of keys, I'm guessing most of them are going to be like dupes, so let's inspect the wall. You look at it and confirm that it's a different color than the rest. Can I knock on it? You see Dipper give you a small smile, knowing what you're looking for. You knock along the wall and find that one section sounds hollow. As soon as you realize that, the next knock opens up a gap in the wall, which reveals itself to be a door. Oh, I'm going through that bitch. We're going through the door. As soon as you enter the room, you're struck by how different it looks from the rest of the dungeon. This small chamber is elaborate, with colorful cushions, rugs, and a dining table that holds a half-eaten feast. Next to the feast, a mouse examines a few empty goblets on the table. The mouse sees the party and beckons you to come into the room. There's been a crime! Someone has stolen my precious silver sword! You three look like heroes. Won't you help me? When I arrived in my room, I found these three suspects: a gnome, a kobold, and an owlbear. I knew someone was going to come and try and steal my precious sword, so I set up a wondrous feast as a trap for thieves. You and Ford share a look at the idea that a mouse would somehow be living it up in an evil sorcerer's puzzle dungeon. I left them 3 goblets. The first held a truth serum, and the other 2 a lying serum. I don't know which of these creatures drank from which, so I was going to hold an interrogation when they woke up. But now you're here. Oh, heroes! Won't you help me figure out who stole my sword? I'm afraid that if I uncover the culprit, they'll slay me in cold blood. Delicate mouse that I am. Well, alright. Took the words right from my mouth, Bop. Let's get on with the interrogation. You approach each sleeping creature in turn, waking them up with a few shakes and asking them who stole the silver sword. The gnome says, I didn't do it. The kobold did it alone. The kobold says, I didn't do it. The owlbear did. And the owlbear says, I didn't do it. The gnome did it alone. One creature drank a truth serum and the other 2 a lying serum. Oh, Christ. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm contemplating this as if my actual life depends on it. Where's my ask Ford for help on this one? What the hell? Hello, degenerates. I've taken an obscene amount of time to ponder. The conclusion I have come to, and I'm not very confident on it, is that the owlbear stole the sword. And the reason I'm going with that is because it can't be all 3, and I think it's interesting that the gnome and the owlbear both stated that they did it alone, and the kobold just said, I didn't do it, the owlbear did. So to me, that the fact that the gnome and the owlbear stated their sentences so similarly, that makes me think that they drank the same potion. That could be very flawed and very unlogical, but I'm gonna go with that. And I'm actually panicking. If this ruins my chance at romance, I'm gonna be devastated. I'm gonna be devastated. Full send, kids. Let's go with the owlbear. Not quite. Shit. Okay. At least it gives me like more than one chance. Okay, I'll take it. Second try. I'll take it second try. And I got half of it right, so I'll take it. Just pretend I did that first. The mouse looks dumbfounded at how fast you figured it out, but soon turns her attention back to the thieves. Nice job! Now cough up the swords, you thieves! The owlbear digs within their feathers to reveal an ornate, polished silver sword, and the gnome retrieves a matching scabbard from under their hat. The mouse looks down at the returned sword happily, then looks at the party. I realize now that keeping this sword is more trouble than it's worth. Here, you have it. I've only ever used it as a conversation starter because it can only cut through silver. Perhaps with you, it'll finally have some use. So what I'm realizing is that maybe this was not the life or death decision I took it to be. The mouse bestows the silver sword upon your party. You move forward, leaving the mouse's room behind, and come to another doorway. Oh, he's looking at me. Oh, he's looking at me. You glance at Ford to notice that he was watching you figure out the puzzle the entire time, even if you weren't too good at it. Before you make eye contact with him, he turns his head, facing back at the game board on the floor, and he's sweating. Ah! Ah! I need to like start punching holes in walls, kicking concrete blocks. He's sweating. Great Uncle Ford, are you okay?
Oh, yes, I'm fine.
I don't think I stated it in one of the previous episodes, but I had installed a voice file and they will play periodically, and I think I had mentioned it an episode or two ago, but we didn't hear any, so I just cut it out of the video, and now I'm jump scared. Jump scared by baby girl. Oh yes, Stipper, I'm fine. I'm not. Oh, my face is hot, y'all. This is... It's fine. Be chill. Then why is your face so red? Literally him and I both. You take a second look then and find that Ford indeed looks a little red. Ford stammers his way through, "It's a little warm in here," as you ask if he's alright. You guess wearing a turtleneck in the summer will do that to a guy. But Dipper raises his brows at both of you, surprised. He looks so sus. He writes something down in the margin of his notebook before clearing his throat to continue the campaign. Through the doorway, the air feels damper than before. Oh my god, we just have to keep going. The sound of rushing water from earlier has only intensified. On the wall to your left, you see a bell. Okay, I'm locking in, y'all. I'm locking in. I ring the bell. It may have been a trap, or it may have been the right thing to do, because the floor opens beneath you and the three of you land in a boat. It hovers above the rushing river below, ready to start its trip on command. Dipper takes a folded piece of paper from his notebook and hands it to you and Ford. It reads, "Next stop upstream, beasts, antechambers, 3 giant strides away. Next stop downstream, the mirror room, 3 giant strides away. Get off the boat at your own risk." I'm guessing we don't go to the beast's antechambers. Can I check the river's speed? Good thinking. You find that the river flows at 2 giant strides per tip of the hourglass. So when do you want to stop the boat?
2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3, quick maths.
So 1.5 tips takes us to 3. Yeah, that's easy math, right? I do math all the time at my job for time. This I don't think counts as time math, but because 1 tip is 2 strides, and then half a tip would be 1. Yeah, so 1.5. Y'all. Nicely done. Simple math, love to see it. You command the boat to take you 1.5 tips of the hourglass, following the flow of the river. The boat comes to a stop at the entrance to a hallway, and the 3 of you step out onto the familiar stone floor. Burning torches line the walls, lighting the hall brightly as you enter. As you walk forward, you notice your steps are visible in the thick layer of dust on the floor. This place smells odd. Ooh, oh, not the 2 doors. At the end of the hallway, the party approaches a set of 2 giant oak doors. Bob, roll to see how aware you are of your surroundings. You roll and are unsuccessful. Alex steps on something, a trap panel set into the floor. You watch in astonishment as a ghostly skull floats out of it, rising to about eye level, just in front of the oak doors. You expect it to speak or do something, but it just floats there. What do? Attack the skull, inspect the door, open the door. I'm gonna inspect the skull. The skull looks non-human, but you don't know enough to say what species it is. Okay, inspect the door. You don't know much about doors, but you can tell that these ones are giant oak and that there's 2 of them. Shit. Shit. Open the door? Just as you're about to touch the door, the skull speaks. Knock. The voice is loud and booming, enough to match the grandeur of the giant oak doors behind it. Vernon knocks on the door. The skull asks, "Who's there?" Answer the skull. Spell. Spell who? W-H-O. Dipper grins at the classic. That is terrible. Okay, next. The skull demands more joke offerings. Knock knock. Who is there? To. To who? It's to whom. This one gets Dipper to laugh, whether through the sheer smugness in Ford's voice or otherwise. Haha. Alright, you both pass. The door opens and... Mabel bursts through the doorway. Okay, honestly I'm kind of relieved because I was panicking that whole time trying to impress Ford. Holy Christ. I knew it! You always make those voices when you're playing your nerd game. Bob, you're playing with them too? How's homework the game? Actually, we're telling knock-knock jokes. Mabel gasps. I could beat all of you! Get ready for this. Knock-knock. Who's there? Clean clothes. Clean clothes who? Yeah, I thought you'd forgotten what clean clothing looks like. Damn, boom roasted. Mabel, geez, we're in front of a guest right now. Mabel laughs and leaves again, but not before directing you a pair of finger guns. Good luck seducing that hot elf. Girl, why would you say that to me? Dipper calls out after her. The hot elf isn't even in this campaign. Anyway, like I was saying, it's joke quota met. The skull gives you a curt nod and floats back into the trapped panel. The oak doors open and the three of you step through to freedom. And there it is, the end of the dungeon. I cut it down a bit on the fly. I didn't want to make it too long. I would have ran a murder mystery I've had planned out for ages, but my test runs have never, gone well with my focus group. So, what did you think? Too many puzzles, not enough story. Are these games always this short? So what happens next? When do we fight the sorcerer? I don't know if DDMD is really my thing. So what happens next? This was actually a transition into the next super plot-centric campaign about infiltrating the sorcerer's tower castle. Dipper shows you a couple pages of his campaign book, which looks to be filled with various dungeon sketches with realistic physics calculations crowded into every spare space. Oh my goodness. Well, Dipper, I think you did well. It's not easy adding an extra player on short notice like that. I always write it in just in case. Not completely, but just a few notes. Smart kid. Ford and Dipper launch into a conversation about dungeon mastering as they clean up the DAMD setup, returning the game components to their original glossy fantasy box. They're too fast in practice for you to figure out how to help, so you just pick up the dice Ford lent you and return them to their original velvet bag. Dipper leaves to put the DDAMD box back upstairs, and then it's just you and Ford. Bob, you did well for a first-timer. I'd take you into a dungeon with me. I'd take you into a dungeon with me any day, baby. I mean... Ford gives you an embarrassed smile, but you're already smiling at him yourself. I know what you meant. Thanks, Ford. A call comes from the kitchen, from what sounds like Stan. Well, I'd talk more, but I'd better see what he needs. Ford moves past you, heading toward the kitchen. You suddenly feel the need to hold on to this moment, like you need to say something. Ford? Yes? Now that he's looking at you again, you don't remember what you were going to say. All you say is, "Here's your set of dice back. Thanks for letting me use it." Ford chuckles, shaking his head. No, you keep it. In case you decide to join us again next time. I feel like I need to bite a brick. Oh my god. See you at dinner, Bob. It's like you were made for each other. Can you give me dating tips? You're good at this. My level meter's still so little. Chat, how do I bump this shit up? Crank it up. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I feel like the level meter is moving slowly, which makes me nervous, but I also don't know how much story there is left, so hopefully I'm on the right track. He seems to be getting nervous around me, which is always a good sign, so I'm looking forward to see what Ford and I get up to next. If you like hanging out with me and if you like watching my videos, please feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I put out videos at least once a week, but sometimes you get a little bonus video as a treat. And for those looking for more content from me, you can also follow me on Twitch. That's gonna be twitch.tv/its_me_drupop. I stream usually 3 times a week and we get weird over there, so come get weird with us. For those who want to keep up with me, know when new videos are posted, stream schedules, or fun, silly, goofy memes, you can also follow me on any of my social medias. My @ is @its_me_drupop, and the links to all of those will be in the description below, as always. Am I blowing this? Am I doing a good job? I don't know. I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. Please, Ford, please, please, please. One chance, please. I'll see everybody next week.